hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
It's after show time, and actually it's Christmas time after show time.
Dun, dun,
Hello,
dun.
Michelle.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, Jim's over there, too.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, goodness. We're going to have some news to announce on Jim's front here, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Cool announcement there. We'll have that in just a second. I'll tell you what. First, though, we have some patient people who've been on hold waiting for us, so let's get this. We'll go to that part right now. Line 4, Grant's with us out of Burlington, Kansas. Hey, Grant, what are you looking at here?
I'm looking at a 257 Weatherby Magnum versus a 264 Winchester Magnum.
Ooh.
I've always wanted one of those smaller bore Magnums for deer, antelope, and coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a chance to buy one of either.
Okay, so you can buy either one. I take it you do not own either one of those right now.
No, I do not.
What other caliber rifles do you have?
Well, I've got a 243 that we don't use much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a 30-06, and then, of course, the 22.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let's talk about 257 Weatherby.
I've got a little 223.
Oh, okay. You got a 223. All right. Cool. All right. Let's talk about the 257 Weatherby, which is a lightning bolt. It is a laser beam, and the 264 Win Mag. For coyotes and deer and antelope, I'm going to try to get you off of either one of those. I'm going to try to get you into something else. And this is why. Both of them will do the job, but so will the 300 Magnum. Both of them are going to have more recoil than you need for that. And I know we don't care about recoil because we're men, but we shoot lighter recoiling guns better.
Oh, my God.
Come on, right? We're men. We don't care about recoil, right? Even if it's a detached retina, who cares?
Well, I don't know. I think you have to be careful. If you deal with too much recoil, you will start flinching.
I agree with you. All right, let me throw this thought out. Well, first of all, you're in Kansas, so you do have the possibility of shooting at some pretty decent ranges, I would imagine. Pretty far out.
I have opportunities to shoot deer out to 400 yards pretty common.
Okay, yeah. What would you think about going with the relatively new 6.5 Creedmoor?
I think that's the most overblown cartridge there is.
Well, hey, tell me why.
Well, what is so magical about it? I read all these 1,000-yard shots and everything, and I don't believe that.
Well, I've made them. Do you believe me?
On animals?
No, but I'm not going to shoot any animal 1,000 yards. That's just with anything. I don't do that.
Neither am I. I don't do that.
Okay, but here's my point.
Paper targets and animals are two different stories. Number one, the paper don't bleed if you hit the corner of it, but you can sure cripple an animal and cause him a lot of misery.
I think you're going to make better shots with a less recoil rifle that shoots just as flat. And here's the important part. It shoots just as flat as the 257 Weatherby and the 264 Win Mag with a lot less recoil and with good bullets. I was just with a guy who broke both shoulders on a bull elk at 340 yards with a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Well, what is so magical about it? They don't have that big of a bullet. They don't have that much powder behind it.
I'll tell you what's so magical about it. All right, stand by. I'll tell you what's so magical about it. It has a higher twist rate on the barrel, which allows you to use longer bullets, which have a higher ballistic coefficient, which are longer, skinnier, streamlined, and because of that, they are going to drift about half as much in the wind as either one of the cartridges that you mentioned, and they're going to shoot just as flat as a 300 Magnum. So with less powder, less recoil, you're going to drift half as much in the wind, and you're going to shoot just as flat. That's pretty cool, don't you think?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Why is it going to drift so much less? It's a longer bullet to accomplish what you just said. And I agree with the longer, heavier weight bullet concept, but you still, they lose velocity the instant they clear the gun barrel.
Everything loses velocity when it leaves the gun barrel, but a long, skinny bullet that has a higher ballistic coefficient number loses velocity a lot slower, and so actually it does literally drift half as much because it is so efficient because of the long bullet. It's just ballistics. I mean, it's just math. And, I mean, you don't have to believe me. You can believe the thousands of long-range shooters who shoot this stuff in competition. Now, look, here's the thing. The 257 Weatherby is a great cartridge. The 264 Win Mag is a great cartridge. And if that's what you want, go for it. And honestly, out to 400 yards, it probably doesn't matter. They're all going to do the same thing. You're just going to get beat up by those. The 6.5 Creedmoor will shoot just as flat. It will drift less in the wind. Now, that's a given. That's just math. But if those are the ones you want, I'd say just pick the one you want and go with it. It's going to be fine. I was just trying to get you into something that would kick less, wouldn't burn up barrels, and actually is going to be more accurate, easier to hit with in the wind of Kansas.
Well, we have wind. There's no question about that.
I think so. As I said, there's nothing between you and Canada other than a barbed wire fence.
And it's down so the tumbleweed can go on through.
Well, Grant, I wish you luck with it. I hope it works out. I'm just trying to give you something else to think about. I understand, but I appreciate the call, sir. You take care.
Don't you think one of the other problems with that is ammo availability?
Well, there's that, and ammo cost. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's a box of 257 Weatherby cost? $60?
Probably.
If you can find it.
$60 to $80. 264 Win Mag, you can probably start at $35 or $40.
Say 40, yep.
Yeah, and then probably, what do you figure, $25 for a box of 6.5 Creedmoor?
Yep, and you've got lots of bullet choices.
Mm-hmm. Lots and lots. And I understand if you're, an old codger like Grant or me, you look at it and you go, well, it's shooting a smaller bullet and it's going slower out of the barrel. How can it possibly work? And I go, yeah, I understand. That was me for years, and finally somebody said, son, sit down here and let's look at the math on this thing.
Physics don't lie.
You're welcome, Tom. I'm glad I could help you.
The teacher comes out again.
Son, let's talk.
Son, we need to have a talk here. Sit down and, oh, yeah, by the way, shut up.
I love it. That's funny.
Actually, Grant was talking about the humanity of a shot, how being fair to the animal and not wounding.
We have a lot of humanity down here in Louisiana. Oh, no, that's not what you meant. Okay,
close. Humidity. That's humidity. But it's actually, the 6.5 is actually more of a humane shot round because you're more likely to get the kill shot as opposed to the drift causing a bigger round.
And, anybody who has shot varmints, especially, a lot of prairie dogs, understands wind drift. If you've not shot a lot at longer ranges, you just don't get it. Mm-hmm. When you're all lined up on something the size of a Coke bottle at 500 yards and you shoot and the bullet hits 6 feet to the side, and you got a screaming 25, 30 mile an hour wind, you're going, okay, I get it. And if you can get that cut down by half, that's huge. Mm-hmm. You could miss an elk at 400 yards because of wind.
I say any caliber will lead to an inhumane shot.
Sure.
Yes, if you can't put it on. And what this does is increases your chances of making a good hit.
Right. You still have to make a responsible shot, is the bottom line.
Right.
Sure. I like to be inside 20 yards. It's just my personal limit.
In a lazy boy.
True, but that's why we have bayonets
and air-conditioned blinds. Sure,
goodness, heated for us.
There are people. Jason, I'm going. We're going to get you. There are people who actually hunt these wild hogs with knives.
Oh my God!
Ugh.
Oh yeah, they use the dogs. They get them cornered, and then these guys go into the middle of that melee with a knife. I'm thinking, you are so insane.
I'd love to see the mortality rate on those folks.
Just watching the videos with the dogs attacking these hogs is scary. Holy cow!
It's stuff going everywhere.
Oh. What else do you do for a good time, Michelle?
It's intense. It is crazy.
Oh yeah, and a lot of times they're putting these basically Kevlar vests on the dogs. We were doing that one time. It was when I was handgun hunting for hogs. Mm-hmm. And one of the dogs got caught in the middle of one of these deals. And this pig opened up his belly like probably a 12-inch gash. Mm. And, the owner grabs the dog and picks him up and kind of pulls all the skin back together so his guts don't fall out. And it's kind of a common thing. He takes him to the vet. They sew him up, It's like, okay, we'll go again. We'll be out hunting again in 3 or 4 days. Holy cow.
Yeah, I did see an interesting video this week, though, of a bear attacking a wild boar.
Really?
It was amazing. It was a smaller pig, but man, it was okay. Mother Nature.
That's pretty cool.
Step aside and let you. Yeah, Google it. It's amazing.
I will.
It's on YouTube.
Hey, let's grab Jason here because he's got something interesting. That's something that I think is more people need to know about. Hey, Jason in Dallas, how you doing, man?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm great. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I think it's been probably about a year now, but you were talking about the medical marijuana holders, medical marijuana, that have their little permit or whatever, so they can do what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And I right after that, I asked a friend who'd been researching that stuff for about 10 years, and some of the stuff he told me really scared the hell out of me after I looked into it. But basically that law is 18 U.S. Code 922G3, and there's two other sections to that actually list everything that makes you prohibited. And it's pretty lengthy. The other parts that go along with it is 21 USC 802, and then a Code of Federal Regulations, 21 Code of Federal Regulation, Part 1300 through 1308.
All right, let's back up, because Jason, nobody knows what any of that stuff means that you just said. So what we need to do is we need to explain to people what we're talking about is if you have a medical marijuana card, you are prohibited from owning a gun, period. Parade rest.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, too, if you possess acetone or if you have a thyroid problem and you're taking iodine, then you're also technically you can be banned from firearms.
Wow. So there's a whole list is what you're saying.
It's right in those other sections. It lists everything. There's other prescription medications. There's other stuff that you buy over the counter that makes you prohibited. If they wanted to come after you, technically they have those options. They could actually track your credit card, and if you buy iodine or acetone at your local hardware store, then you could be right in there with them.
Well, and of course now, because all the medical records are linked and the government has access to all of that online, they could cross-reference people who buy guns with people who are getting certain kinds of medicine, and they can come knock on your door.
Absolutely. And that's why I called, so we could try to maybe inform people that this is another one of those scary 1968 Gun Control Act omnibus bills that once you dig into it, take all these years, it scares the hell out of you.
What I need to do is put together. Do me a favor, if you would.
You want me to shoot you an email with those other sections on there so you can look into it?
Yep, you read my mind. If you could send me more, Tom at guntalk.com.
I said, man, me and Tom think alike. I hope one day I can run into Tom because boy, we got a lot to talk about. I got a lot of good ideas on how to solve a lot of our problems. I just need to. I guess I'm going to have to start buckling down because I don't know if you heard about the new law they're trying to push through on people that, to make your own guns now on the 80% receivers and stuff like that.
Right.
There's just all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we need to start fighting these guys at every level. It
never ends.
It don't matter where it's at.
And Jim, you're right. It never ends. Hey, Jason, thank you. Do if you would, please send me that email, tom@guntalk.com. I would love to get that and start looking it up. We need to have a published list of all of that, because if people see it, they will react to it and go, well, that's just crazy. We have to, we got to get that removed and we can start on it. Although with the Democrats taking control of the House, that's going to be difficult. Well, we'll see what we can do. Jason, thank you for that call. Yeah, Jim, we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, here's Form 4473, Question 11E, which is actually a typical government document because they trip over themselves. Are you an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance? Now in boldface, warning, the use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law regardless of whether it has been legalized or decriminalized for medicinal or recreational purposes in the state where you reside. So it's kind of silly for them to ask you if you're an unlawful user. You should just say, are you a user? Because it doesn't matter if you're lawful or unlawful.
Yeah, I guess that was the original wording was, are you an unlawful user? Right. But in their minds, there's no such thing as a lawful user. And you know what? I do at least appreciate them putting that additional thing in there. It says, and oh, by the way, any use is unlawful. Mm-hmm. Even if you've got a card, even if your state said it's okay, under the federal laws, it's illegal and it prohibits you. So I just think that's got to give at some point.
Well, I had heard rumor of my buddies and I were pounding a bong and eating Fritos, and they were talking about Trump.
At the range.
At the range, yeah. During a class I was teaching. And I'd read something about it was a meme or something, and then I read into it more. Evidently, Trump is having them look at just federally just taking it off with Class 3 or whatever it is, having it removed because
just do it by presidential order. That would be cool.
Yeah, because he thinks it's ridiculous too, especially when it's not just a recreational thing. There's gobs and gobs and gobs of proven medicinal purposes.
Oh yeah, I mean it really helps a lot of people.
My 91-year-old mother, soon to be 92.
Yeah, no, the CBD makes a huge improvement in a lot of people. Yeah, for people with rheumatoid arthritis.
Exactly.
It's a big deal. So yeah. This has to be addressed, and I think we're just at a place where the laws haven't kept up up with what's going on and the information that we have. We'll see what happens. Hey, let's take a quick break, guys, and then when we come back, we can talk about Christmas, because it's that time of year, and we should be talking about guns and stuff.
And cue the sleigh bells.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime, setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
All right, we're back. It is, of course, the after show. Having done the other part previously, I guess never mind. We kind of did the whole spatial relationship thing.
Are you going to start saying on the regular show, welcome to the before show?
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. Or the pre-show.
Right.
Not the Prius show.
Right.
That would not work for us.
We don't have enough chargers here.
That's right.
It's a long extension cord.
But it would be fun to, equip a Prius with like gun racks and things, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, a little. Yeah.
I'm liking it. Can you get like big mud tires and jack it up a little bit so it has some road clearance?
You can do anything you want if you have enough money, right?
That's true. You got money, we can take care of it.
Yeah, but don't waste your money on the rears. It's front wheel drive anyway. Just put them on the front only.
So Jim has a very abbreviated range report for us, I gather.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to shoot a whopping 6 rounds of 9mm. It's a round you may not be familiar with, 9mm Luger.
9, huh?
You may or may not heard, but it's obsolete. I think very few people shoot them anymore.
Yes.
But I was able to do so. Is this something that I should continue, or should we discuss with Michelle first?
No, you can go ahead and tell what happened.
I went to pay off my layaway on my SIG P365 in 9mm. And I expected, I knew what my balance was within a couple bucks. And I got there and they said, no, sorry, your balance is 1 penny. I said, 1 penny? What are you talking about? I says, yeah, here's your payments. And they went down all. And, part of me wanted to say, well, I didn't make that last payment because, I don't want to. Mom and pop shops, the last kind of people I want to screw over. There's a whole list of people I do want to screw over. You can go to the website for that.
Well, of course.
Right.
That's right. And we put it on the website so you can. Sure. If you're not one of them, you need to go look it up because you probably are.
But a kind soul had paid off my layaway all but a penny because law says I have to pay it off. So I went in there and I paid a penny. And the SIG's well worth more than a penny, let me tell you. But cool. I only had time to shoot off 6 rounds. So I thought, well, I was in a super hurry, and I'm going to shoot 115s and 124s just to see if I could see a difference at all. Of course, I couldn't. I couldn't tell the difference.
Did you feel the difference?
I felt nothing.
So anyway,
felt no difference.
So Merry Christmas, my friend.
Yes, that was the compliments of Mr. Tom Gresham, who paid off my layaway. Isn't that nice?
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
It was fun, yeah.
It is cool. It was a pleasant surprise.
So, Michelle, I heard that you have a gun sitting over there that you're wanting to pick up, a 327.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, if you go pick it up now, it's done.
Oh, stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I got together with your evil husband, and we made that happen. So your gun is free and clear, but it will cost you a penny to pick it up, I think.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Tom.
Cue the tears.
Henry repeating arms, 327.
I know,
so,
it's crazy.
Merry Christmas, my friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Range reports. You know, we're going to need range report. And we need more than 6 shots. Come on, man. Yeah. This is not working for me.
Yeah, I know
at all.
It's kind of half-assed, but it's what it was.
You know, look, you had to drive home and you have street signs. Good grief.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I was actually in a legitimate reason. I was rushing off to Wyandotte, Michigan, which is on the Detroit River. And while I was at this event, my international roaming kicked on my phone, so I have all kind of charges for placing calls and memes and stuff from
And here
Canada.
you are, you're doing all this, what is it, Kielbasa event, and you do all kinds of charitable events.
Yeah, and I ended up getting this stiff.
How much kielbasa do you guys sell or give away? Or
570 pounds of Polish kielbasa. We had about 20 folks on 2 lines making it. I never realized pig intestines were 24 feet long, but they are.
And what were you doing with this kielbasa? Tell people.
It's an event they do for the Wyandotte Boat Club, which is a rowing club. You know, those real long boats with the high school kids and college kids rowing. It's pretty neat. I learned a lot about something I knew nothing about.
They call them shells, by the way.
Do they?
Yes.
Well, they had one this thing had to be 60 foot long, hanging from the ceiling. It was amazing.
Wow.
And I said, I'm happy to help out. What's the money go to? And he said, well, what do you think one of those boats cost? And the one they have hanging up is probably 40, 50 years old.
Right.
I said, I don't know. Nowadays, probably $5-6 grand. He's like, no, they're made out of carbon fiber. I'm like, 15 grand. He said, try 50 on up.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding. So,
well, the thing is, the less they put into it, the more it costs. The lighter it gets, the more expensive it is.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we raised enough money to buy 1/5 of a shell. But everybody got to leave with 5 pounds of kielbasa, which I'm gifting to Tom here and Tom Hennig as well as Michelle today.
Excellent.
They get to try it out. And now I know after all the garlic that's in there why they've sat on the other side of the studio today. Totally justified.
Oh, okay. Well, there that is. Exactly. So, Michelle, how's your week going?
Very busy and very fast.
Yeah?
Yep. Last minute people coming in trying to find what they want or, purchase what they want, I guess, both ways. And then, just wrapping things up for the old year and getting ready to see all the new stuff.
Well, and I had that thought at the end of the show, and I threw it out there. Last minute gifts, if you know what somebody has, go buy them some magazines for it. Mm-hmm. If it's an AR-15 person, you can get those mags pretty cheap, but even if it's like pistols or whatever, just as long as you know what the model is. And if you're doing it for yourself, for heaven's sakes, unless you're weird like me, who's like a maglomaniac.
That's a great word, megalomania.
You just coined that?
Yes, I did. Most people don't have nearly enough mags. If you have an AR-15, if you're not into 3 digits, you don't have enough mags. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm serious about that. I think anybody with an AR who's serious about it needs to have 100 magazines.
Wow.
Of course, Clint Smith says, but you need to have 100 magazines that are already loaded.
Yeah, right.
That's his thing. So, and actually, all the preppers I know are kind of the same way. So, if you don't have loaded magazines ready, what do you think you're going to be doing when it hits the fan? You're going to be sitting there loading mags?
Right.
It's food for thought. So, but anyway, I think magazines are always a good. Does anybody not want more mags?
Yeah, can never have too many.
Right.
Oh, I have enough mags. That's fine. No thanks.
Said no one anywhere ever.
Right.
Yeah, no. I don't need any more magazines. Right. Okay, sure. Oh, I did see one of the coolest things. Brownell sent an email out, and they have a drum of 5.56 ammo. 12,500 rounds in a drum. You buy the whole drum.
Holy cow!
It's good ammo. It's Lake City. I mean that's good stuff. Lake City ammo.
Wow.
And it was actually marked down. It was $3,400. And I thought,
well, that'll go.
That would be cool.
Go along with your 100 magazines.
That's right. But you probably need a forklift. I mean, how much would that weigh?
So you have to pay shipping on that?
Yeah, really. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. But you could go there and get it, but you just have to roll it home.
I was just going to say, I'll go to Iowa.
We'll go to Iowa, put it in the back of the pickup
Shipping,
truck.
probably call it even on the gas. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking they make great storage canisters for the magazines, but I don't know about all that ammo. That's a lot of storage magazines.
That's a lot. It's a lot. 12,500 rounds. Now, I know there are people who are going to say, well, you could never shoot that in a lifetime. I'm thinking,
oh, yeah, you can.
I know people who shoot that in a year.
That's a good summer.
Yeah.
It really is, and you're not kidding, are you?
No.
That's a good summer.
You do a lot of competition and practicing. You'll use it.
Well, if you're going out and practice, say you're a 3-gun shooter, and you practice twice a week, and you're shooting, what do you figure, 300 to 500 rounds each time you go out?
Probably.
Probably. Okay, say it's 500, so that's 1,000 rounds a week. Okay, we just got rid of, that's a lot. That, you know what? We need several drums. We need more than one drum. That's what we need, by golly.
Great.
I'm liking this.
Semi's pulling up.
If you shot 1,000 rounds a week for 52 weeks, 52,000 rounds? Yeah. Okay, so we need 5 drums. Cool. I don't need a car. I could just sell it and get ammo. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Good point, yeah.
$15,000, about $15,000 to $20,000 in ammo.
Just for giggles, we should throw in a mag loader.
Yeah, his name is Herman.
And maybe a barrel or 5.
I remember Rob Latham said he had it stocked up for all his competition. You know, of course, he's buying ammo by the tens of thousands of rounds, of course, for practice and everything else. And he was gone for like 3 weeks on doing these various shoots and appearances and all. He comes back and he looks and goes, "Where's my ammo?" And his wife, Kippy, he says, "Oh, I've been practicing a bunch." He says, "With my ammo?" She had shot up like 5,000 rounds of ammo in 3 weeks he'd been gone.
Had a girl?
Oh, God. I love it. Oh, goodness. Well, do we need a break or are we going to wrap this up, Kimosabe?
I think we can wrap it up here. I want to let you know that Maglomaniac was already taken.com.
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry to let you know that.
Oh, my goodness.
I did at least check.
Before we go, I have to say, we have news, 2 things. One is I already mentioned on the show briefly that I have my photography website out. Just indulge me. It's kind of fun. So it's TomGreshamPhotography.com. Take a look. It's not a gun thing. It's just a fun thing. But Jim has his nude CD out.
I do.
And did you say
nude? It's a nude CD. Probably hasn't sold any copies.
No wonder you're not selling anything.
You guys, thanks a lot. It should be on iTunes shortly, but if you go to CD Baby, CD as in compact disc baby, you can either buy it or as a hard copy or a download, and you can go per song or the whole album.
They just search for you there, Jim Kenzie?
Jim Kenzie Project, but Jim Kenzie should take you there.
Okay.
Kenzie. And if you buy the whole album, in the sake of marketing, it's a whopping 58 cents per song. So jump on that. Great Christmas idea.
I got mine in and popped it in. Had to find a CD player.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. But right off from the very first song, I told you, man, I love that first song. It rocks.
Well, cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it got horns in it, the whole deal.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to tell them the quick story about the name and where it came from.
Oh, the name of the project?
The name of the CD.
Right. The name of the CD is What's the Rush? Because 40 years ago, I wrote a bunch of songs and had a inkling to get into recording, got into recording to record my own songs. Of course, never did because I was busy recording other people's songs, kind of like the Shoemaker's Kids Go Barefoot scenario. So 20 years ago, Tom Hennig and I and a couple other folks said, why don't we start recording those songs? And we had a great piano in the studio for another project, so we recorded just the basic track, bass, drums, guitar, piano, and put it away. Every 5 years or so, I'd pull it out and add a couple instruments. So 20 years ago, we started recording it. We just finished it in November. So what's the rush? What's the hurry?
Well, it's really good. I enjoyed listening to it. Thank you for sending me a copy.
Thank you. Also, you're welcome. Thank you. And check out Maglomaniac, which was available.com.
Which was, but you grabbed it.
Yeah, you can.
Of course you did.
I'll sell it to you.
Right.
I'll trade you a P365 for it. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, it's only a penny.
It's only a penny. That's right.
Touche.
All right, you guys be safe. Shop safely. There are crazies out there and bad people roaming the parking lots.
There you go.
Be aware.
No kidding. Have your head up on a swivel, and if anybody looks weird, stare at them. And get your gun out. Just wave it. In fact, I like shooting up in the air as I go through the parking lot.
Stop it.
Sure. And get the damn earbuds out of your ears, please, people.
Yeah, really.
Unless it's the Jim Kenzie Project. Unless you're listening to that, then of course it's fine. But otherwise,
I see people that almost get run over because they're just staring at their phones as they're walking.
Then they give a dirty look to the car.
Right.
To the driver.
Because you've checked out of actually being on the planet, paying attention to what's going on around you. Mm-hmm. And actually, sometimes in my weirder, and you didn't think I could get any weirder, but in my weirder thoughts, I think, it might not be such a bad idea just to thin the herd a little bit now and then. A couple of ones who are willing to do that.
Yeah, we thought you had peaked on weirdness, but evidently.
Oh, no.
Still going strong.
We can go so much farther than this.
Maybe next week.
When the going gets tough, the tough turn weird or something. So there it is.
Animal House reference.
Yeah, something. All right, guys, have a great week, and we will do it again. And yes, we are doing a show next week. So I know, Michelle, you won't be able to be with us. You'll be getting ready for your Christmas stuffs.
Correct.
But we will be doing that. And everybody else, same deal. Check your 6, because they're out there.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
See you. Merry Christmas.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.